Your parent, you just have to serve your abuser. There is no easy way to come out of such toxic dysfunctional relationship. And a lot of stories are built around those toxic dynamics. Yeah, God is testing you, so just be in the relationship. God is going to reward you in afterlife. Karma is going to bite back. Karma is a bitch, don't forget that. If they are doing all of this, just have patience and endure it. Yeah, God is testing you, and one fine day God is going to reward you, either in this life or in the afterlife. So we get to hear a lot of lunatic theories, yeah, which have got nothing substantial in it. It's all stories basically to gaslight the victims into staying in that toxic dysfunctional relationship. Hello everyone, I hope everyone is doing good and taking good care of themselves. So today I'm going to talk about the different tactics that narcissistic parents use to manipulate and control their children by positioning themselves as the victim or the martyr. And before I get going, I would request you all to like, share, subscribe the channel, hit the notification bell so you guys are updated whenever we put out a new content. So we know narcissistic individuals choose to get married and choose to start a family because they need more sources of supply, permanent sources of supply with same genetic makeup, who doesn't run away, who doesn't betray them. Yeah, it's all about the supply. They really don't get into relationship for altruistic reasons or to foster healthy connection. They get into relationship, they get into this family business. It's all to harvest supply, yeah, get things in return. Yeah, a healthy parent starts family for altruistic reasons. They are in love with their partner and then they choose to start a family, and when they see that the kids have grown up, they set the kids free and they work towards their retirement. Yeah, that's how things are in a healthy family. But when we look at narcissistic families, narcissistic parents, it's all about return. Since childhood, narcissistic parents train you to give them what they want out of you. They are going to guilt trip you, they are going to shame you, they are going to extremely criticize you, they are going to use silent treatment, they are going to triangulate things, and everything is to manipulate you into serving them. Yeah, everything is to manipulate you into betraying your own self, your authenticity, and prioritize them and keep serving them till the time they are alive or till the time you are alive. Yeah, that's how things are in narcissistic families. So narcissistic parents are very different from healthy individuals, healthy parents. Narcissistic parents are nothing more than breeders, sperm donors, or you can say egg donors. That's it. They are into misusing their procreation ability. Yeah, they don't start a family for good reason. They start a family because they want to return. Yeah, more money, emotional support, a punch bag, emotional toilet, a doormat. They have got endless needs, and the best way to get their needs met is creating their own source of supply, their children with same genetic makeup, who's not going to run away. And it's all the more easy to mold them from childhood. Yeah, guilt trip them, shame them, manipulate them. So it's all the more easy to control them, manipulate them, and harvest whatever they want out of their children. Yeah, with adults, adults might run away, adults might see them for who they are and might distance themselves. But with children, kids are stuck with narcissistic parents. Yeah, they are burdened with lots of guilt and shame. We know our society is very enabling when it comes to narcissistic parents. So it's almost difficult and impossible for a kid to come out of the narcissistic system, narcissistic family, and go no contact with narcissistic parents, because all the enablers, flying monkeys, fellow narcissists are going to come, triangulate things, shame the child. Your mom did so much for you, and look, you have left her alone. How can you do this? So and with time, all of these toxic things have been culturally, religiously, societally appropriated. Yeah, it's become a part of the culture. Yeah, even though you are being tormented, even though you are being antagonized, even though you are being abused, you still have to be in the toxic and abusive relationship and serve your abuser, whether your abuser is your husband, or your parent, you just have to serve your abuser. There is no easy way to come out of such toxic dysfunctional relationship. And a lot of stories are built around those toxic dynamics. Yeah, God is testing you, so just be in the relationship. God is going to reward you in afterlife. Karma is going to bite back. Karma is a bitch, don't forget that. If they are doing all of this, just have patience and endure it. Yeah, God is testing you, and one fine day God is going to reward you, either in this life or in the afterlife. So we get to hear a lot of lunatic theories, yeah, which have got nothing substantial in it. It's all stories basically to gaslight the victims into staying in that toxic dysfunctional relationship. Now, coming to the different ways, the different tactics that narcissistic parents use to manipulate and control their children by positioning themselves as martyr or victim. The first is emotional blackmail. So narcissistic parents might exaggerate their suffering and claim to be deeply hurt by their children's action. Yeah, whereas in the child must have done something reasonable, but narcissistic parents are into over exaggerating. That's how they garner sympathy, attention, affection of the others. Yeah, that's how they summon their flying monkeys and enablers. So narcissistic parents are going to take help of emotional blackmail. So they are going to exaggerate if the child has said no to something, or if the child has denied to do something which is very much reasonable. Narcissistic parents are going to project the child as a villain. You have hurt me a lot, and whereas in reality the child mustn't have hurt the parent to the extent that they are projecting and narrating in front of the others. And this is basically to instill guilt inside the child so that the child complies. Yeah, so if the child wants to do things his way, if the child says no to something, or if the child refuses to do something because he or she is not comfortable, narcissistic parents are going to put up a show, put up a drama, yeah, where they will project themselves as the victim, yeah, and the child as the perpetrator, as the abuser. And that's how they guilt trip the child, and that's how they emotionally blackmail the child into compliance. The other way narcissistic parents control and manipulate their children by positioning themselves as the victim or the martyr is by this constant health complaints. I am unable to do this, I am unable to do that. And this is basically to garner sympathy from the child. Yeah, this is basically to make the child feel responsible for their well-being. Yeah, I mean, it's your health, you have to take care of your health. You have to do the things that can keep you healthy and stable. But narcissistic parents are into vehemently using anything and everything up their sleeve to control and manipulate their children. So they're going to come up with regular health complaints. Oh, I'm unable to walk, oh, I'm unable to do this. And this is basically to make the child feel responsible for their well-being. I mean, I do have, a lot of problems. I was suffering from diabetes, a couple of years back. I had a bad COVID. I have got fibromyalgia. I have got, stress, depression, anxiety. I have, my set of, problems. But that isn't a conversation starter for me. Yeah. I don't, guilt trip my partner. Yeah. I don't use my illness and my disease and my problem and health issues as means or tools to control and manipulate my partner. I don't do that. I face my demons myself. I face my health problems myself, and that's it. I don't burden him, yeah, with the responsibility of fixing me. Yeah, I reach out to the doctors. I take my medicines on time, and I do my physical activity. I eat well. So I do the necessary things to keep myself healthy and intact and functional. Yeah, I don't put the burden on him. I don't keep on lamenting day in and out. I am not able to walk, I'm unable to do this, I'm unable to do that. I mean, it's my problem and I need to fix it. Yeah, max to max, maybe he can, take me to the doctor. Max to max, he can, pay for my medicine and medical. But, in the end, I have to do the necessary changes in order to be fit and, have a better and a healthy life. Yeah, he just cannot do anything. Yeah, he doesn't have any role to play. He did not come and give me COVID. He did not come and give me fibromyalgia. He did not, come in and give me, all sorts of things. Yeah, it's me. I mean, I was in certain situation, I was with certain, individuals, and that's how, I collected all of those, shitty stuff. But narcissistic parents are going to, keep guilt tripping their children. Yeah, I'm sick, I cannot do this. And the way how they project their health complaints and illness is, again, exaggerated. Yeah, so it is all basically to make the child feel responsible and, keep the child away from having, some me time and good time. And this is basically to keep the child 100% dedicated and devoted to the parent, narcissistic parent. Yeah, so the child, betrays himself or herself and keeps serving the narcissistic parent, because my mother is sick, my mother is suffering, my father is suffering, my father is sick, so I need to do more and more and more to, help him get rid of his pain and suffering. I need to do more. So, the kids, can really not, take away the pain and suffering. Yeah, any adult individual, if they are suffering from something, they have to, work on their own issues and problems. Others cannot, take away their pain and suffering. With narcissistic individuals, they are big time into, using anything and everything to exploit their children, manipulate their children and guilt trip their children. So yes, with narcissistic parents, they are big time into, constantly complaining about their health. I am deteriorating, I am falling sick, and this and that. And this is basically to, guilt trip the child. The other tactics that narcissistic parents use, to manipulate and control their children by positioning them as the victim or the martyr is, by constantly talking about the financial sacrifices. So they are going to tell you, well, I didn't, go for this and this, I didn't have this and this, I instead, spent all that money on you, on your future, on your well-being. I sacrificed this, I didn't do this, I didn't spend it on myself, I spend it on you. And this is basically to, create a sense of, debt and obligation. Yeah, this is basically to keep the kids reminded that you are indebted to me. Yeah, you cannot enjoy your freedom, you cannot, go off hook, and you simply cannot, get absorbed in your life. You have to pay me back, you have to, get even with me. Yeah, so narcissistic parents are into using anything and everything that, they can get hold of when it comes to controlling their, children, manipulating their children. And, all of it is basically to exploit and abuse their children. Narcissistic parents really don't do things, for the benefit or, enrichment or, for the good of the child. They do everything for themselves. They do the things for the children so that they are seen as a good parent. They do things for the children so that in society they are revered and seen as a very, loving parent, good parent. Yeah, so, narcissistic parents do things, with ulterior motives and intention. They just don't do things the way how healthy parents do. They, thought of having a family, they, had a child, and they did everything, best they could afford, and that's it. And they set the child free, that son, this is the best I can. Now it's your life, you move ahead in your life, and let me, plan things for my retirement. And that's how things are in healthy family, healthy setup. But with narcissistic families, narcissistic parents, it's very difficult to, come out of that system. It's very difficult to go no contact. It's very difficult to, get them out of your head. The other manipulation tactics that narcissistic parents use to manipulate and control their children by projecting themselves as the martyr and the victim is, by playing helpless victims. So narcissistic parents will portray themselves as, helpless, dependent individuals. And, this is basically to manipulate the child into, taking care of them, prioritizing their needs over their own. Yeah, so they are going to be absolutely fit and fine, but when ever they will come in contact with their children, or whenever they'll see their children in front of them, all of a sudden they'll start having aches and problem. Oh, I cannot walk, you've got no idea, I'm suffering so much. And this is all basically to make the child feel responsible, and make the child take up the role of their rescuer and healer. Yeah, so that the child says, no mom, I'm going to do some extra shift at work, and I'm going to earn more, and I'm going to get this for you, I'm going to get that for you. This is basically to keep the child away from connecting back to himself or herself, and be constantly there 365 days in the service of the narcissistic parent. Yeah, they don't want the kids to deviate from the assigned path and goal, that is to forever serve the narcissistic parent. So narcissistic parents are going to play helpless victim, and this is just to manipulate the child into taking care of them. They are adult, they can take care of themselves. I mean, if they are really old, like 70, 80, of course they might need some assistance, but in 50s and 40s, I don't think individuals need assistance. I mean, if they are not suffering from some really serious health condition. Yeah, but these narcissistic parents are shameless individuals. I have seen firsthand all of these things in my family, and a couple of individuals who I knew in the past. And trust me, these narcissistic parents literally ruin their kids' life. These kids are not successful. They are unable to, accumulate wealth. They are unable to do anything. All what they get is, some, a kind of inheritance once the parent dies. And in some of the cases, I have seen that narcissistic parents, giving it to some random individual, and not giving to the one who had been sacrificing and serving them. So narcissistic parents are like soul suckers. They are soul eaters. They are going to destroy you. They are never going to let you be happy in your own life. They will do something or the other to keep you mentally, emotionally dependent on them. Yeah, so one such way of manipulating and controlling their children is by constantly playing the helpless victim. Oh, I cannot do this. So the child comes in as the rescuer. Mama, I'm going to do it for you. Yeah, all that is drama. All that is basically to control and manipulate the child, because narcissistic parents breed you for a purpose and reason, and that is return, return, and return. The other manipulation tactics that narcissistic parents use to control and manipulate their children by projecting themselves as the victim or the martyr is by triangulation. So they are going to project themselves as the helpless, dependent, and someone who has been victimized by the child. The child is the villain, and other relatives are going to reach out to you. Your siblings are going to reach out to you and tell you, why are you doing this with your mother? She suffered so much for you. He did this for you. Your father did that for you. And they are going to create pressure on you, and that's how they get you into submission. So narcissistic parents are not going to directly tell you. They are going to demonize you. They are going to project you as a villain behind your back, that he is so selfish, he is busy in his own life with his wife and his children, he hardly cares about me, look, I'm suffering. I have seen, trust me, in the country where I am from. Oh God, I can see narcissists in every family. And it has been culturally appropriated, religiously appropriated, and it's sad that none of the individuals are able to live life to the fullest. They are just into serving their narcissistic parents, and betraying their own self and ruining their life emotionally, physically, financially, and they're just into pleasing and serving the narcissistic parent. And these individuals, these loyal, dedicated, devoted servants of narcissistic parents, I mean the adult children of narcissistic parents, the only title they are awarded for all their sacrifice and for all their service is that you were a good son, you were a good daughter. That's it. Yeah. So that good girl title, good son title, it's quite expensive. You've got to pay a lot. Yeah. And it really doesn't help. That title really doesn't help, because in the process of earning that title from society, from family, from your narcissistic parent, you literally have to betray yourself, and you know mute yourself, numb yourself, yeah. And that's how you earn that title. So it's very expensive, and it's not worth it, yeah. I mean, you live with a hell lot of resentment, yeah. You are not going to experience any kind of happiness, because you are psychologically trapped in that system, narcissistic system. So only if they are happy, then you are allowed to be happy. If they are sad, you are expected to be sad. So whatever the system feels, you are expected to feel the same, yeah. If you feel anything different, that's the time they are going to torture you. They are going to do all sorts of dirty number on you. So yes, triangulation is also one of the ways, with the help of which narcissistic parents either project themselves as the martyr or the victim, and they get to control and manipulate their children. The other tactic that narcissistic parents use to manipulate and exploit their children is with the help of emotional outbursts. So narcissistic parents are going to display dramatic emotions, such as crying, screaming, howling, threatening to self-harm. And all of this is used to intimidate and control the child, making them afraid to assert themselves, yeah. Narcissistic parents don't want you to grow up to be into a healthy, independent individual. They want you to be dependent on them. They want you to be scared of them, and that's it. They want you to forever comply with them, and that's it. They want you to keep serving them, yeah. You should betray your own life, you should betray your own likes, dislikes, yeah. And that's it. Just keep serving them. Whatever they want out of you, you are there to serve them and give them, yeah. So yes, narcissistic parents are into using emotional outbursts, crying, howling, all of a sudden shouting at you, or just crying, and pretending as if they are going to end their life. They are going to do all sorts of things, and this is basically to intimidate and control the child. This is basically to intimidate and control the child. That's it, yeah. So that the child complies, and that's it. Narcissists get to do their dirty dance till the time they are there. The other tactics that narcissistic parents use to control and manipulate their children is silent treatment. So narcissistic parents are going to withdraw affection and communication, to make the child feel abandoned and guilty. And this is basically to force the child to conform to the parents' demand in order to restore the relationship. Yeah, so of course, as kids, we want our caregivers' attention, love, and affection. It feels miserable when they don't love us, and when we have narcissistic parents, then things are at a different level altogether. So yes, narcissistic parents are going to use silent treatment to control you and to manipulate you, so that you do anything and everything to restore that relationship with your narcissistic parent. And the last tactics that narcissistic parents use to control and manipulate their children is comparison and favoritism. So they are going to compare you with others' kids. They are going to compare you with your sibling. Well, your sister does things better. You have got no idea what your cousin did. Your cousin has bought this and this, and I mean, I don't know when will I get to see all of these things. And this is basically, to manipulate the child into meeting the narcissistic parents needs, yeah, into fulfilling the narcissistic parents needs and requirements. They are going to blatantly display favoritism, yeah. They are going to say, well, your sister does things so better. They are going to treat your sister with a lot of love and care. They're going to treat your brother with love and care and extra attention and affection. And this is basically to put you in that competition, that if you also want all of these good things, these perks, you need to do more, you need to comply, and you need to win my love. My love is like a competition, yeah. Otherwise, I will compare you, shame you, criticize you, make you feel horrible. Yeah, so if you want my extra love, care, attention, affection, you got to do more. So yes, these were a couple of things that narcissistic parents, use to project themselves as the victim or the martyr. And the entire idea is basically to control and manipulate their children. So yes, that was it. In case if you'd like to add in something, you can always comment below. Till then, take care of yourself. Lots of love and blessings to all of you. Bye.